You can't say no.
I'm not good at saying no. That is a problem.
If you think you've seen it all in Hollywood, think again. Just when you thought the biggest stars were all about the glitz and glam, something sneaky pops up that makes you question everything. And this time, it's not just any celebrity drama. It's about Keanu Reeves, the internet's favorite star. But here's the kicker. Mark Wahlberg, another big name, is dishing out the details that could shake up Hollywood like never before. What did Keanu confess that's got everyone talking? You're going to want to stick around for this one because it's about to get really interesting. Oh, and don't forget to grab your popcorn because you're about to have a fun ride. So here's the scoop. Keanu Reeves, the guy everyone loves, even when he's just eating a sandwich, has been keeping some pretty shocking thoughts about Hollywood to himself. But in a recent interview, Keanu decided he was done following Hollywood's messed up rules and let loose some serious secrets. And guess what? Mark Wahlberg says this could be the truth bomb that finally uncovers the dark side of Tinseltown. This is one story you won't want to miss. Keanu Reeves didn't have an easy path to becoming a superstar. Behind his calm and cool face is a man who's been through some really tough times. He's lost his best friend River Phoenix, his daughter Ava was tragically stillborn, and his partner Jennifer Syme passed away too soon. Life hasn't been kind to him, but Keanu has stayed humble, kind, and super generous. Traits you don't see much in Hollywood, but don't be fooled by his gentle nature. Keanu's no pushover. He's seen all the shady stuff in Hollywood, and now he's ready to speak out.
That's in the past. I mean, there's certainly very rich tradition.
Remember when Keanu Reeves said no to doing Speed 2? Well, Fox Studios thought that was a huge mistake. But for Keanu, it wasn't about the money, it was about doing what felt right. He wasn't going to take a role just because it had a big paycheck attached. So what did Fox do? They pushed him by putting him in movie jail, blacklisting him from their projects for almost 10 years. That's right, one of Hollywood's biggest stars was pushed aside just because he wouldn't play by their rules. Talk about standing up for what you believe in. But here's where it gets interesting. This wasn't just about Speed 2. Mark Wahlberg, who knows a thing or two about being at the top of the Hollywood food chain, believes this movie was a clear sign that Hollywood's elites were starting to see Keanu as a threat. Why? Because unlike most of his peers, Keanu couldn't be bought or bullied into submission. And if there's one thing Hollywood hates, it's someone who plays by their own rules.
Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. You know what the #1 job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is? Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job. But I'm not scared of being the competition. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team. They have all the assets and resources and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't. All of these shortcut takers, they canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my in front of all my people at my agency.
Meanwhile, as we were all cheering for Keanu Reeves in John Wick and loving his hands-off approach to taking photos, he was quietly facing a new Hollywood monster: deepfakes and CGI. With technology able to do almost anything, Keanu's putting his foot down. He's fed up with the digital tricks that can change an actor's performance into something totally different, something that doesn't even feel it belongs to them anymore. Keanu's had enough, and he's not afraid to say it. In an interview, Keanu revealed how he once saw a tear added to his face in post-production, a tear he never shed. Imagine seeing yourself on screen, crying in a scene where you were as dry-teared as a desert. Creepy, right? For Keanu, this was more than just unsettling. It was a sign of things to come. He warned that Hollywood's obsession with CGI and deepfakes is leading us down a path where actors lose control over their own performances. And that, my friends, is something Keanu is not okay with. And this is where Mark Wahlberg jumps in with some serious thoughts. According to Mark, Keanu's stand against deepfakes and CGI is exactly why he's becoming a target. The big bosses in Hollywood aren't happy that someone as popular as Keanu is speaking out against the very tools they're using to stay in control. It's not just about making big movies anymore, it's about who controls the image, the story, and even the people. Keanu's refusal to go along with this tech-driven takeover is why he's on their radar, and they're not too happy about it. But it's not just the tech that's got Keanu worried. As Mark Wahlberg points out, Hollywood has a long history of chewing up and spitting out someone who doesn't toe the line. And let's be real, Keanu's not exactly the poster child for Hollywood conformity. He's the guy who sits on a bench eating a sandwich alone, who gives away millions without seeking credit, and who has never let fame get to his head. In an industry obsessed with image and power, Keanu's authenticity is a breath of fresh air, and that's precisely what makes him so dangerous. But not to forget, Mark himself has had his share of Hollywood battles. Remember his early days as Marky Mark? Yeah, those cringe-worthy music videos are hard to forget. But Mark's transition from rapper to respected actor wasn't without his struggles. He's talked openly about how the industry tried to mold him into something he wasn't, pushing him to be more commercial, to take his pants off more, and to do duets with pop stars when all he wanted was to be himself.
I'm like, I can't take this shit. So I canceled every interview that I had. I went home. Somebody from the record company got fired. You know, it's like there was no discipline with music. And when I found movies, I became very disciplined. You know, I realized, you know, there was no room for screwing around. You know, I think music always kind of promoted this attitude of being able to do whatever I wanted. I show up late, don't show up at all.
It's a tale as old as time. Hollywood wants to put you in a box, and if you don't fit, they'll make your life a living hell. And Keanu? He's been dodging those same bullets for decades. But while Mark eventually found a way to navigate the industry's treacherous waters, Keanu has always stayed true to himself no matter the cost. And that's why Mark believes Keanu's latest confession could be the final straw. Hollywood's elites can't afford to have someone like Keanu, someone who's loved by the public, but refuses to play by the rules, exposing their dirty laundry. What's fascinating about Keanu is that he's not out there waving a banner screaming about Hollywood's evils. He's more of a silent warrior, quietly making his moves and standing up for what he believes in, even if it costs him dearly. And that's where Mark Wahlberg's insight really comes into play. Mark knows what it's like to be on the inside, to see how the sausage is made, and he's convinced that Keanu's integrity is what scares Hollywood the most. Take Keanu's decision to take pay cuts so other actors and crew members could earn more. That's not something you hear about every day, especially in Hollywood, where everyone is trying to get as much as they can. But for Keanu, it's about being fair and kind, values that seem almost out of place in the tough world of showbiz. Mark Wahlberg sees this as a direct challenge to how things usually work, and he's right. When someone like Keanu starts shaking things up, it's only a matter of time before the industry pushes back. So why is Keanu's confession such a big deal? Because it could tear apart the carefully crafted image Hollywood's big shots have built over the years. Mark Wahlberg, who's been around the block, thinks that if someone like Keanu, who's loved by millions and has stayed out of trouble, starts revealing the truth, the whole Hollywood game could fall apart. The stakes are high, and Keanu's honesty might just be the thing that brings it all crashing down. And that's the last thing Hollywood wants. This is an industry built on image, on the idea that the stars are untouchable, flawless beings who live in a world far removed from the rest of us. But Keanu, with his down-to-earth demeanor and his refusal to play the game, shatters that illusion. He's the guy who gives up his seat on the subway, who shares his lunch with a homeless man, and who would rather walk away from a multi-million-dollar payday that compromise his principles. So what's coming next? Mark Wahlberg thinks we're about to see a big change. If Keanu's confession starts catching on, it could encourage other stars to speak up, demand better treatment, and stand up against the bad stuff that's been going on in Hollywood for years. And that's what really scares the people in charge. They've been hiding the truth for a long time. But if Keanu's message spreads, it could be the start of something huge. A change that could shake up the whole industry. But here's the kicker. Keanu isn't doing this for attention or accolades. He's not trying to be the hero or the martyr. He's just being himself. a guy who's been through hell and back who refuses to let the darkness of Hollywood change him. And in a world where so many are willing to sell their souls for a taste of fame, that kind of integrity is a rare and precious thing. So there you have it, everyone. Keanu Reeves might just be the guy who shakes up Hollywood, and Mark Wahlberg is here to tell us why.
Matrix guy. Yeah. That's some over-the-top fame. He hit that Johnny Depp, Tom Cruise level of fame, and then just became this super chill, mellow guy that can just like go through crowds. That guy sits on the subway by himself. No, like,
that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, but there's no obvious outward displays of wealth from him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's insanely wealthy.
Yeah,
but when you see him, he's dressed like me.
Yeah.
He's got like a regular watch on and sneakers. He's normal as man. Yeah. It's real weird.
Whether things will actually change is still up in the air, but one thing's clear, Keanu isn't backing down, and neither should we. We'd love to hear what you think about Keanu Reeves' bold confession and its potential to shake up Hollywood. Do you believe his stand will inspire other stars to speak out, or do you think the industry will manage to keep things under wraps? What's your take on the way Keanu's integrity might change the game? If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more updates on Hollywood's biggest stories and scandals, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time for more behind-the-scenes drama.